a few years he was martyred for his ministry. And so we know that he was no stranger to that. We see in the book of Acts that he'd been beaten, he'd been jailed. His brother, you remember James, was or not his brother, but his one of the three, John's brother James was also he was martyred early in the church. He was the first one. And so, Peter was not a stranger to this. He certainly was a part of that. We know that in the 60s, that Nero was the emperor of Rome, and that he was doing all that he could to try and persecute the Christians. We know that some of the worst kinds of persecution took place under his administration, such as we know that they would often feed them to the lions or have them be for sport. They would have the lions and the Christians in the Colosseum and other places. We know that Nero was such an evil and diabolical person that he would take Christians and he would have them impaled. He actually went so far as to take many Christians and impale them on a pole, and then he would douse them with oil and set them on fire and use them as torches for people to be walking in and out of some of the Roman places. And so the dead, burning bodies of Christians were used as lamps, if you will. So there was a lot of terrible things that were happening to the church during this period of time. And so Peter is trying to encourage the church. He's mainly writing to the Jewish Christians. We know that even though Peter was instrumental in Acts chapter 10 of going to the house of Cornelius and taking the gospel message to the non-Jews, to the Gentiles, Paul became really the apostle to the Gentiles. And so Peter kind of settled back into his main role as the leader and the pastor, if you will, or apostle to the Jewish Christians. And so he's writing to them here to encourage them during this suffering. So you'll see a lot of multiple mentions in different chapters here of the suffering that they're enduring, and to basically be strong and realize that this is not unusual. This is what Christians go through. So, do we have video that we can show? Okay. So let's go ahead and did everybody get one of these sheets for Peter? I think Emily's efficient at getting that out. So let's go ahead and watch the Bible Project.